Hello Capricorn, I'm back. I want to get these readings done and out of the way. It's something I haven't finished up and I need to get it finished. This is going to be a reading about the person who hurt you the deepest and what they may not be telling you or maybe don't know themselves. So let's get into this and see. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do you need to tell Capricorn about the person that hurt them the deepest? What are they not telling them or maybe don't know themselves? Thank you. Okay, bottom of the deck we got Coffin. Endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, and transformation. Okay. We have kisses, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, and falling in love. So somebody's going to be falling in love. Or maybe already are. Because there's an ending that's going to bring a new beginning. You've grown, you've changed, you've liberated. You went through a transition yourself, I believe. Not today. So there's something you're not going to be dealing with today. Not dealing. Hurt, avoiding a conversation, call person, boundaries, still angry. There's somebody around you that either you're still angry at or they're still angry with you. So they're not, it doesn't necessarily mean today, but they're not calling or you're not calling. Somebody's not standing up, you know, somebody's maybe ghosting, you know, because they're not over it yet. They're still working on it. They're still healing. And you have mirror. Mirroring each other's self-image, relationships reflect our wounds and introspection. So this is basically going to be about the wounds that they have or what their soul feels at a deep level. Sorry. Helicopter coming into the hospital. I hope that whoever's in it's okay. You're basically mirroring each other. So basically when you're in a relationship and you're fighting and you're upset and you're angry and you're dealing with all that stuff, you're mirroring each other's wounds. When you're triggered, it's not you're supposed to get all bent out of shape and emotional. It's supposed to show you that something they said or did triggered you. You're supposed to go within yourself and see what it is they triggered, why it is they're triggering this, why what they said or did hurt you. All relationships mirror each other, whether it be friendships, family, you know, lovers, parents. Well, that's kind of under family, but that's what they're wanting to tell you. Okay, let's see. What do you want to tell Capricorn about the person that hurt them the deepest? What are they not telling them or maybe don't know themselves? What are they not telling them or maybe don't know themselves? What is at a soul level? What are their wounds? soul really dealing with? What are they not telling them or maybe don't know themselves? Oh, come on. Please stay on the table. They're not going to listen to me. They keep falling to the floor. They're flying out. Okay. And this person's soul is really wanting to talk to you, whoever they are. Okay. They're not slowing down, guys. This person has a lot going on inside them. I don't think these cards were this accurate. This active, Mercury retrograde, this active with any other sign that I've done. Maybe this person is starting to recognize some of these things too. I don't know. How strange. Your love kick-started my healing. So they want you to know that the tower moments and stuff that you guys went through, maybe you walking away, you know, it kick-started their healing. It started making them look inside. And like I said, maybe they're starting to recognize and see it because it's like the soul wants to talk. And a lot. But just because you kick-started their healing doesn't mean go back. If you go back at this point, you know, you're just going to enable them, you know. So it's up to you what you do. I'm just here to give you advice. If it be me, I wouldn't go back because it'll all just turn toxic again. I would give them some time to come through this. It seems like they might actually be understanding and learning, you know, these things. And when, in my experience, when healing is kick-started, you start going deep within. You start having to go deep within. You have so many tower moments that you have to go with deep within. And you start finding those wounds that you didn't even know you had. You know, your partner didn't even know you had. So they had a lot to say, so you're going to have to bear with me. I don't know how this is going to resonate with everybody. This isn't going to resonate with everybody. If you think about what I'm saying when I say it, and that may be why, because there's a lot of Capricorns out there. We got a good bit of the deck here. Some may resonate with you, some may not, but I think as I say it, you will understand what resonates with you and what doesn't, just chalk it, you know. What doesn't make sense, chalk it. It says, I can't love you in the way you deserve right now. So they feel like, you know, they just can't give you what it is you want. Maybe it's financially, maybe it's emotionally, you know. Maybe there's, well, I mean, if you've kickstarted their healing, then they didn't know their own worth. Clearly, you didn't know yours, because there's wounds there that a lot of people don't know. And Tarot has brought me on this journey and showed me wounds I didn't even know I had, and then helped me to figure out how to deal with them and heal them. So it's a journey that I'm going on myself, which is the inspiration of this reading. You know, inside me, I scream your name. So, you know, they still think about you. You're still on their mind a lot. You know, you come up a lot. Things that you've done together comes up a lot. They're really screaming for you. Their soul is screaming for you. But they have to do their healing. Because honestly, do you want them to come back broken? I think that you would want them to come back whole. And while they're working on coming back whole, I think that you're working on becoming whole. You know? Like I said, if they come back now, you're just going to repeat that cycle. And I don't believe any of us want that. Not enough feelings to continue this relationship. So I feel like with this card, they're lying to themselves. You know? They're telling themselves that there's not enough there. They can't love you in the way you deserve. There's not enough feelings there. They may be blocking their feelings. Because maybe some of them didn't want to deal with this healing. You know, it was brought up to them and shown in their face, but they didn't want to deal with it. I was in my own head, so yeah. See, they're in their own head. They're shutting down. They're guarding themselves. They're telling themselves that it was in their imagination. This wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to happen. They don't care for you as much as, you know, their mind's telling them that they do. I never wanted to hurt you. So, you know, they really didn't want to hurt you. That's not a lie. They really didn't. They reacted out of their own wounds and their own insecurities. So, you know, don't carry this burden with you, because it's not meant for you to carry. I feel you even when we are miles apart. See, I told you. They feel you. They think about you. You're on their mind a lot, or they'll go somewhere and see something that reminds them of you. You know, they feel you. Your souls are connected. A hit and run. So maybe at the beginning they wanted just a hit and run. Maybe they had no intentions on getting in a relationship, you know. But something happened. And it changed them. And they got into this relationship with you. And they pushed forward with this. But they weren't ready for it. You know. Maybe they wanted to be able to commit to you and be with you, but they weren't ready for it. And they didn't have a good reason at the beginning. I didn't believe you when you said you loved me. This comes when they don't love themselves. When they can't trust and believe you, it's because they don't trust and love themselves. They don't believe in themselves. So this is nothing for you to carry either. I was scared of being used. See, they were so scared. They were in their head. Their wounds and their own insecurities was what was leading it. And rather than being used, they, you know, may have played you. They may have used you or thought they were gonna use you, but they fell. They didn't expect to fall. I don't feel worthy of love. I just said this. They didn't love themselves. They didn't know their own worth. They didn't know that it's our birthright to be loved, to be happy, to have everything that our heart desires, whether that be, you know, finances or material or, you know, being loved in a certain way. It's our birthright. But if you don't know your worth, you don't realize that it's your birthright, and it's always been there. There's plenty of love and plenty of finances and plenty of material things in this world. There's enough for everyone in this world if everyone just realized, you know, their wounds and they started healing them. I want to marry you. So deep inside they did want commitment with you, you know. And maybe it's possibly not Mary. Just because Mary's on here, don't get tripped up by that. They wanted a deeper connection with you. A stronger connection. Something long lasting. But their own wounds wouldn't allow it. Their own insecurities wouldn't allow it. I won't give up on us. See, so they're not giving up. Even if they're not telling you, they're not giving up. But that doesn't mean that you need to stand around and wait on them either. Because even though they don't want to give up on you, it may take them 20, 30, 40 years to finally do the work that they need to do. And if they do the work, you'll know when they come forward because you've already been down that road. You've already seen all those red flags. You've already been taken to the ground. You've built yourself back up so many times it's not funny. So don't sit around and wait on them. Live your life. Get out, date, mingle, socialize. Start new beginnings. If they're meant to be with you, there's nothing that's going to stop that. If their birthright and your birthright is for you two to be together, nothing's going to stop that. Things can delay it, but nothing's going to stop it. They'll be back. And in the meantime, live your life, you know. You sit around and you wait on them and your life passes you by. You might pass by some good opportunities, you know. And one day you wake up and you realize that you waited all your life and they never showed up the way that you needed them to. And maybe somebody else could have came in. Maybe the divine was bringing you somebody else that would have loved you the way that you were looking for. It's not always what we want that we get. But the divine will always make sure we get what we need. You know? What empowers us, what moves our soul, what motivates us, what inspires us. And what helps us learn more lessons, you know? I am walking through the dark night of my soul. And I knew that. I knew that as soon as this card came out. You know? Because this is what they got to do. They got to do shadow work. They got to go into the dark night of the soul. They got to dive deep. They got to figure these wounds out. They got to work on them. They got to heal them. They can't keep coming to you in the same energy, in the same way that they are. And because both of you have to come back in a different energy. And if you don't, you're just going to call back in that same cycle again. And I know a lot of us are done with those cycles. We're ready for something new. We're ready for people coming to us, correct? Everything reminds me of you. I can't make it up. They're seeing things all over the place that's bringing up your memory. It's bringing up memories of you two together. So, I was acting from my ego. Not the ego, but the unhealthy ego. You know, the shadow side. The insecurities, the lust, the not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not loving themselves. That's the ego they were coming from. Overthinking. I have mother issues, so a lot of them might have had problems with their mother. Maybe they weren't close to their mothers. You know, maybe their mothers were guarded. You know, and maybe their mothers didn't know their own worth, and they were out there accepting relationships that wasn't for their highest good, you know, wasn't what they deserved, because they had their own issues. I played you. And maybe they do feel like they played you, because they did start out with a hit and run, you know. But them believing they played you, they played themselves. I was trying to be bulletproof. Yeah. I was trying to act like nothing got to them. Not love, not nothing. You know? They didn't have no insecurities. They were all powerful and confident and, you know. No. I am scared of showing vulnerability. They're scared of showing you how much they cared about you. How much you really got in their head. Even now, they may be scared to tell you how much you're really in their head. They don't want to be vulnerable. They're afraid. They have trust issues within themselves, so they're afraid to be vulnerable. They don't trust themselves to make the right decision for themselves. If they don't trust themselves, how can they trust you? I want you to find someone new. Do you know why they want to do this? Because this new person isn't going to challenge them like you do. It's easier. They're going to accept them for the way they are. They're not going to have to do this work. And that's why I said don't sit and wait on this person. Don't sit and wait on them. But forgive them. Not for them. For you. Forgive them. You know? They're working through some things. I wanted to aim for something better for myself. They didn't feel good enough for themselves. They wanted something more, or they thought they wanted something more. Maybe it was finances. Maybe they didn't feel like they were stable enough for you. You know? Maybe they feel like they couldn't give you what you deserve, what you needed. So instead they pushed you away out of their own insecurities and their own feeling like they didn't have enough. I had to be brutally honest. So maybe, you know, maybe there was an argument where some really mean, hateful things come out, you know. But even with that, whatever they said to you, that took you to your knees, that made you feel like you weren't worth anything and you weren't enough, that's how they really felt deep inside about themselves. It had nothing to do with you. They're projecting their own feelings and their own emotions and their own thoughts of themselves onto you. And that's not fair. That's not your burden to carry. Just because they say this, that's not your truth. I love you more than I want to admit. See? They do. They really do. They just don't love themselves. And you can't properly love someone when you don't love yourself. Our love is deep as the ocean. They feel this connection. They feel it deep. To their soul, they feel it. For me, money is important. See, I said maybe they felt like they didn't have enough money for you. Maybe they wanted to build that up. Maybe they felt like you needed, you know, more. You deserved more. Or at least their soul did. Maybe also they decided to focus more on work so they could try to get you off their mind. But, you know, it might in the moment, but you're going to keep coming back when they lay down at night and go to sleep, and when they are out driving their car, or, you know, when they can't stay busy, you're on their mind. And if you're thinking about them, it's because they're thinking about you. I needed to learn from my own mistakes. Yes. I personally don't see anything as a mistake. I see it as stepping stones, lessons that you've learned, you know, knowledge that you can carry forward, wisdom. It helps you grow and be stronger and become who you are, your authentic self. I never felt like this before. You scared them. You scared the holy shit out of them. You know? They didn't feel like this with anybody else. This relationship was very intense, and they felt it like that. And it scared them, and they probably run. They probably did everything they could to sabotage it. Even though that wasn't what their intention was, to sabotage it. Out of their own insecurities, they did everything they could to sabotage it and mess it up. It wasn't built right. Someone will always get hurt. I have a feeling that you both hurt each other. You both probably had some very hateful, very mean, very cruel things to say. And when we argue, sometimes we say things we really don't mean. But we're so hurt. We want them to know how bad we're hurt. You know? And once you say it, you can't take it back. It's there. I will never stop loving you. Told you. They're always going to love you. Whether they fight it, resist it, don't want to work on it. They'll get in another relationship. It'll fall apart too. Because they have to go into the deep night of the soul and do the work. There is no choice. They have to. you'll keep haunting them until they do. I can't handle one more heartbreak. So they feel like they just can't keep doing it, you know? They're tired, they hurt, they just don't want to repeat it. I was scared of hurting you. But they were so scared of hurting you, they called that exact thing in. They manifested it. They hurt you, and they hurt you bad. So, you know, think about the wounds that they're carrying, and maybe some of these, you know, maybe you can resonate with them. Maybe some of these you're feeling inside. You have no reason to feel this way. Well, maybe you need to work through some of this, you know. But forgiveness is key. You have to forgive them, and you have to forgive yourself. Mostly yourself. For allowing yourself to allow this to happen to you. You know? So let's get some messages from Angel Answers deck and see what the Divine wants to tell you about this. What do you want to tell Capricorn about this situation with this person that hurt him the deepest? What do you want to tell them? There we go, flying again. And the Divine really wants to talk to you. I just took off. Take action. They're wanting you to take action on something. Let's see what flew. And it did fly in a new direction. It says choose a new direction. So they're telling you, like I told you, don't wait on this. Don't wait on this person. This person's got a lot of work to do. And they're not going to come to you correct until they do. They're not going to come to you bringing what you deserve until they do this work. What else? You can love them from a distance. You can hold space in your heart for them. You know, I mean, just don't tell them your emotions. Because when you tell them your emotions, what you're emotionally going through, when you connect with them on that level, it doesn't allow the cycle to end. And it gives them the way to keep clinging on to you. And you keep allowing them to continue to hurt you. Because you're connecting to them on an emotional level. And I know this because I went through it, you know. It's kind of a codependency, an emotional codependency, where you need someone or something else out of you to make you feel loved, whole, and complete. When actually there's nothing that can make you outside of you that can make you feel happy, whole, loved, and complete. You can only make yourself feel that way. Then something outside of you will come in and add to that. Is there anything else you want to tell them? Anything else you want to tell them? You're saying focus. Listen to your intuition. You already know the answers. Your soul already knows. Your soul already knows that you deserve better than this. And we have remain positive. So keep your mindset positive. You know, you don't keep it positive, you're going to call in more negative, you know. Don't believe the worst about yourself. Believe the best. Because you're God's creation. You're Divine's creation. He don't make mistakes. The Divine does not make mistakes. You know exactly what they're doing. And you're never in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're exactly where you need to be to learn the lessons that your soul needs to learn. That your soul has come here to learn. You need to compromise with something. And you need to come to a peaceful resolution. You know, don't fight. When you fight and you argue and you allow them to get you bent out of shape, or you get bent out of shape, that's just calling in more negative energy. You know, and it's just... excuse me, not want me to tell you that. You're just keeping yourself on that cycle. You're repeating the same negative patterns all over again. You're doing negative self-talk to yourself, telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy, and you are. you're a divine being, you know. But anyway, I think that, you know, what you needed to hear came out, and, you know, I wish you the best on this journey, because this isn't an easy journey, but it's worth it in the end. I love you all. Please like, share, and comment. Help my channel grow, you know. Help other people receive these messages. Maybe it'll help people throw some of these burdens that they're carrying off their back, you know. Maybe they'll choose to pick up this information and use it for themselves. And that's what I'm all about. So I love you all. Bye.